7 names, no games as I run it down the line. We got Kenny Ken, put 100 on the tees with the streak for the cash. ESPN, Seth Curry with the shot. The prodigy. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, L-Dad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the Buck Wild Problem Child.
Flow Butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the league ambassadors, and we playing to win. At the 2-yard line, and make no mistake, we running it in. Pete Carroll, we see you.
Thank you for visiting 32 Kings Road, hosted by the league ambassadors. I'm Ambassador Kenny Ken, and it is my pleasure to be here today with literally all of my brothers. Coach Joe is in the building, as well as our best friend, Gentleman Jack, making a return appearance.
And he should.
As a reminder, you can follow us everywhere on social media. Our handle is @TheLeagueAM. That is Twitter, that is Facebook, Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, League Ambassadors. That is also the place where you can see any previous episodes of 32 Kings Road. This is the final episode of Season 2 of our show, 32 Kings Road. And also you can view our previous episodes for Confirmation Bias, which we will be starting in the next couple of weeks. This is a jam-packed show. We've got another special guest. We're going to recap the Super Bowl, Hall of Fame, NFL offseason. We've got a big show. Let's get it going. I will start with our resident coach, Coach Joe. What you sipping on, brother?
Oh, sipping on that trip I just came back from.
Hey, talk about it.
Baltimore was fabulous, man. Felt like a king. Came home and from the county to the city to DC. I was seeing people I haven't seen in about 4 or 5 years, but it was awesome, man. A lot of love. And my coaches came with me. It was their first time to the East Coast. And besides the cold, they really enjoy Baltimore. I'll say that.
That sounds sketchy. Yeah. Kev, what you sipping on, brother?
I'm sipping on what's left of this Tennessee Honey Jack in honor of my brother-in-law who turns 30 today. That's his vice right there. I'm going to keep it Baltimore, actually. For those who don't know, the Baltimore City Police Department has been out here plundering people, like in the worst way. For those who aren't familiar with the case, if you have free time, I would just say search Baltimore City Police Corruption, and you'll get a pretty good look into what's been going on here in terms of the drug trade, the murder rate, and how these things are allowed to happen.
Gun trade, too.
Facts.
Redo, what you sipping on?
I'm sipping on a little Gentleman Jack again. I ain't got much to say. I'm looking forward to the Hall of Fame game.
Junior Blue, what you sipping on?
I am sipping on some of this Gentleman Jack also.
AKA the world's worst mistake.
It's the final show of the season, but this time I'm sharing. And that's what I'm sipping on.
Dad, what you sipping on?
I'm also sipping on that loser's juice, Gentleman's Jack. That's a little bit of foreshadowing right there. But I'm also sipping on the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors beating Phoenix Suns by 46 points the other day. And Steve Kerr didn't coach.
Right, I saw that.
That's
embarrassing.
I thought that was genius. A lot of people might think that's lazy, but I think it's very Chuck Daly-esque. They weren't motivated.
Him not coaching got the Lakers a coach.
Shit.
Point well taken.
Right.
I'll sip to that.
All right, and so we have a special guest, as we will talk about in a few minutes. The league ambassadors, we were fortunate enough to go over to the UK, which for those of you that do not know, the international audience, fans of popular American sports. That's who we are trying to go after. That's who we are trying to engage. And we have the opportunity to meet a lot of great NFL fans. One fan in particular stood out to us, and we have forged a relationship. And we are honored and happy to have him with us on the air. It is 3:30 in the morning where he is.
He's a soldier.
But he is a true diplomat. His name is Ryan Ingham. Am I saying that right, Ryan?
That's right.
Ryan Ingham. He is. We call him the head boss man for one of the larger football clubs out there, Leeds. I believe Leeds United. He has a fan club of significant following. We all love Leeds, but he is also a fan of American sports, in particular the NFL. Specifically, he is a self-proclaimed glory boy for the New England Patriots. So we thought it'd be a great idea to have him on after Super Bowl 52. Ryan, welcome to the show. Happy to have you. And so with that, we know we're a week late. We had some technical difficulties, but we're here now. Want to recap Super Bowl 52. Final score, Philadelphia Eagles 41, New England Patriots 33.
Say it again. Mufasa.
Philadelphia Eagles 41. Ryan, can you hear me? New England Patriots 33. The Super Bowl MVP was Nick Foles. He was 28 of 43, 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 pivotal touchdown catch. Tom Brady, great performance, 505 yards, which I believe was a Super Bowl record, right?
Yep. Very much so.
And some sore fingertips.
Yeah, 28 of 48, 3 touchdowns, and 1 pivotal touchdown drop. I will start with you, Ryan. You tell me, what was your biggest takeaway from Super Bowl 52, sir?
Well, first of all, I'll tell you, I'm sipping on that Red Bull.
As you should.
As you should.
That's the main reason for that is obviously we've got Redo on the show, so when he tires me out from all the Patriots hate, I've got something to perk me up a little bit. My biggest takeaway was you had a team that did the homework, not just offensively, defensively. The Eagles were prepared for a Patriots team that had a very good year, and they did the job. Many teams have come against Patriots and failed miserably, or started well and faded into the mist. The Eagles did everything that they wanted to do, and in the end, the better team won.
Ooh, big man to say that.
I know.
Thank you, George Michael. I appreciate that. I kind of want to take my shirt off.
Big man stand.
Coach Joe, what was your biggest takeaway from the game?
Well, my biggest takeaway was I knew that was going to happen. Because honestly, the Patriots shouldn't have even been there. It should have been the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, my God. And the
Talk your shit, Joe.
I'm going to talk it. Because I'm going to go back to if you just stick with man, we'll be all right. Why go to zone?
All right.
Don't bring it up.
My biggest takeaway was the final fumble at the end.
Mm-hmm.
They never gave up in trying to get to him. Never gave up. And
the
whole game, everyone kept talking about, they're not doing it. The defensive line is just not getting there. And at the end, at the point that they needed it, they got it done.
They made a play. The offensive line, the Patriots offensive line did a great job. It was clear that New England focused on stopping that defensive line. Yeah. But that's a great point. Leave it to the coach to say, hey, they stuck with it.
Yeah. Right. Kev, a game plan.
Kev, what was your biggest takeaway?
There will be so many. Hopefully we cover them. But I'm going to go with Nick Foles' success on third down. I mean, we've been saying it since Carson Wentz got hurt. It's going to come down to him making plays, and we didn't think he could. And he hasn't stopped since he came in and filled in for him at quarterback. So the fact that he was able to just keep drives going, something the teams can't do against New England down the stretch when they're making their comebacks, they just kept him at bay long enough, and they held on and won.
Junior Blue.
My biggest takeaway was the fact Belichick really believes his system is greater than any player. And he sat Malcolm Butler, and that had a big effect on the game. You have Nelson Aguilar going for 85 yards out the slot, and you have Rowe on the outside, and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. That was also, for me, the biggest takeaway. I think that they outsmarted themselves. They thought with Eric Rowe and Patrick Chung, 2 former Philadelphia Eagles, you got to think, Belichick is a military guy. So he prides himself on intelligence, on intel. And for you to so far deviate, you, like Joe said, you played man the entire game. Your best man-to-man defender are one of the best. Malcolm Butler, you don't play him, and instead you play a guy like Eric Rowe in the slot, and Alshon Jeffrey burned him. Mm-hmm. You play a guy like Patrick Chung in the slot. He got worked across the middle. And then you're in dime packages, again, man defense, and you're playing guys named Jordan Richards and our guy Batamosi, Kev. Like, it was, they outsmarted themselves, thinking the system is greater than actual talent. You win with Jackson Joes, not X's and O's. Dad, what was your takeaway?
My biggest takeaway, there was absolutely no defense at all. Not a hint, not a sniff of defense. The line for the game was 49. They scored 74.
Yeah.
That was my biggest takeaway. I mean, there was one punt the entire game.
Redo?
My biggest takeaway is a word we actually use a lot on the show, foreshadowing. Mm-hmm. Take it back to game 1 against the Chiefs. Peterson, Andy Reid disciple. Same fucking game plan from game 1 of the season, and they did it.
Yeah.
It's the same game plan from game 1 where the Patriots got their ass whooped.
I really thought he was going to say Brandon Cooks got hurt. That's why they lost.
Speaking of Brandon Cooks, has anybody seen him lately?
So
He's asleep.
Game 1 was foreshadowing for the Eagles beating the Patriots.
Okay. So, Ryan, now that you've had time to process this loss as a Patriots, and explain for our audience, what exactly is it? Because we came back from the UK, I believe our first show back, we came back talking about Glory Boys. What is a Glory Boy? And then with that, what do you feel like is the one thing that the Patriots should do in this offseason that we all know they're not going to do?
Well, Glory Boy is a phrase coined by the Flower Pot Men. So they're the guys that go to London, the guys you met, including my father, Lee, Ian, and Tony, Mark as well. They love the fact I'm a Patriot, but my love for the Patriots dates back to a show that we have in the UK. I'm not sure if you guys have it, called America's Game. Mm-hmm. Goes through, obviously, the stories of Super Bowl winners. Now, me and my father used to watch something every Monday. We used to obviously watch something together. And one time he sat me down and said, I want to introduce you to a proper sport. And he put on America's Game. Now, lucky for me, this was the 2001 Patriots. Now, that was the reason I became a Patriot. That year, you've got a second-year rookie coming in who was so late in the draft, no one expected anything of him. He came in and he took control of the situation. You start quarterback scoring, he comes back, the challenge for the title, and the women's Super Bowl. So the Glory Boy term, it hurts a little because he's considered to be like supporting Manchester United, who are our biggest rivals. For me, the biggest thing they need to do and what they won't do is when you're looking at restructuring contracts, I mean, the cap hit, and speaking of the off-season, right now we're about 17 million short, and you're looking at players like Nate Solder, who has been Brady's go-to guy for so long. Mm-hmm. If you lose him, to get a new offensive tackle in is not going to be an easy job, and you can't look to a rookie, and you don't have the finances to bring someone in who's going to be able to protect him. So,
and you got a 41-year-old quarterback that you need to protect.
And it ain't going to happen. So they're going to have to take a serious look at the salary cap and really make something happen. And I think that's Belichick's biggest job since he took over at New England.
Kev?
For me, it's a lot simpler. I would just say one thing, of course, we know that they should do that they won't is return to the AFC Championship game. They've been there as far as I can remember. And as long as, look, whatever happens in the offseason, as long as Belichick is there, Tom Brady's there, they have an average defense, they'll be back. It just depends on if the Steelers or the Jags or any other team hello Ravens can actually beat them in that game and be another team to advance to the Super Bowl.
Kevin, what question
Sir.
were you answering?
You asked me what should they do that we know they won't, right?
Oh, and let's go to the AFC Championship game.
Yes.
Clever.
I mean that from the bottom.
Junior Blue.
Draft Brady's backup because 41 is not 41, 42, 43. It ain't going to happen.
Coach Joe.
What should they do? Is
That
what-
we know that they won't do.
that they won't do.
I got greens.
You name it.
Well, the two well, that's a tough one.
We can tell.
Because I want to say get rid of Tom Brady. But they won't do that.
That's the point.
Yeah, the reason why I say get rid of him is because just like Belichick loves to do is get rid of the players when they're at their peak and they're done and they're washed up and get younger guys in.
He's not done though.
He is done.
He just threw for 500 yards in the Super Bowl. I don't understand.
Yo, but nobody played defense in that game, though. You
Listen,
could have thrown for at least
like,
300.
yeah, Devin. Everyone watched the game.
Yeah.
Ryan
And they have one of the best secondaries in the league.
Ryan, is Brady done?
He's not done yet. He's not done.
Okay, Brian, would you say he have 2 years left? 3?
2 tops.
Okay, he's
That's
done in
2 tops.
Belichick's eyes. That's what I'm saying. Belichick gets rid of him right before they're pretty much washed up to get some value for them.
There's no other player like him.
Redo.
Make a concerted effort to run the ball so you do save his arm because he will be 41.
So focus. Oh, how are you making that concerted effort? You mean spending money on a running back?
Whatever it is, they have running backs. They don't make a concerted effort to run the ball.
Because he believes in the dunk downs. The
My
dinks and
point
dunks.
is, you can wake up at 40 and be all right. You wake up at 41. Not be all right.
Kevin said we don't want to hear about your personal experience.
He about to be 41. If you want to save his arm, run the ball.
I say get a receiver over 5'10". Gronk is not a receiver. They don't. They should. They won't. Brandon Cooks is slight. He's not light, but he's slight.
He's sleep too.
That's what he is. But still sleep.
A nice possession receiver, aside from somebody that's quick in the slot that moves the chain, somebody that can actually go up and make a play. That's not Gronk, because who knows what's up with Gronk.
Well, we'll get to that. To Ryan's point, they've got some hard choices they got to make, but I think they've got to splurge on the defensive front seven. The Patriots are not necessarily known to spend big money in free agency. That's why the contracts for Stephen Gilmore, that was such a big thing last season. I think they've got to address that front seven. Ezekiel Ansah, Mason Foster, Navarro Bowman, they've got to get some speed and they've got to get some pass rushing. They got to spend some money on some free agents in that front seven, because that system, relying on that system, I think I don't know that that's going to be enough going forward. Philadelphia Eagles just won the Super Bowl. What's the one thing that they should do that we all know that they won't do? Coach Joe, come back to you.
The thing they should do that they won't do.
I got greens.
Keep Nick.
Keep Nick Foles?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't think they're going to keep Nick?
Nah, Nick's gonna get his money somewhere else.
Really?
Especially after that Jimmy G contract.
We getting there.
Come on.
Foreshadow.
Redo?
Trade Nick.
Trade Nick.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think they are going to keep him.
Yep.
I don't think they
Yeah.
have it. I don't. But the reason why I say trade Nick is because every time Wentz has any ounce of a struggle, their Super Bowl winning quarterback, they will have a quarterback controversy. And you don't
Especially
need
with
that.
those
Trade
fans.
See,
Those
I don't.
crazy fans.
I don't see it that way. I think Nick knows who he
him.
is.
No. We're not talking about Nick. We talking
Even
about
the Eagles. I think the
And
Eagles. I
pressure
think the Eagles
organization.
believe they spent
pressure
the
bust pipes, baby. We know that.
Yeah, but they spent the most intentionally spent. Jeffrey Lurie talked about this even going into the Super Bowl. They spent the most money across the league on their backup quarterback for explicitly this reason. I think it's clear he's the backup, and
But
I
that
think
only
actually
works once, Kenyon.
But that's a
It
difference when
only
you win the
works
Super
once.
Bowl.
You can't. Once he did
Super
what he
Bowl
did.
MVP.
He has to go. They're not going to keep him.
And he's making half of what Mike Glennon's making.
But why can't
I think
that?
they are going to keep him.
But why
You
can't?
think they are going to keep him?
Yeah.
Yeah, my question
I
is
put
why.
money on that they get rid of him.
My question is why can't that be the model going forward? That you need to invest more money than traditionally you would in your backup quarterback. Why does it have to be that because he played well, you got to get rid of him? Kev?
Yeah, and you and I have been making that point all season that the way teams approach franchise quarterbacks is not built around a long-term solution. We're gonna have a Nick Foles conversation. If I'm them, I think they keep him because you're not 100% sure what Carson Wentz is gonna come back as. He may not come back 100%. He may not be ready when the season starts.
That's the other thing.
But granted, to your point about trading him, that's something you have to consider because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Philly has a second or third round pick.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. So you got to get some depth somewhere and make those first 3 rounds count.
Staying with you, Kev, what's the one thing you feel like the Eagles should do that we all know they won't do?
They're not going to stop their fans from rioting. It's just great. I love seeing white people destroy things and
Not get in trouble for it.
not get in trouble for it and do it on top of cars in broad daylight and destroy.
And not say they're
awning at a
thugs.
Ritz-Carlton.
Ryan,
Great.
Kevin said that the Eagles are not going to stop their fans from rioting. What is the one thing you feel like the Eagles should do that they won't do?
It's pretty simple. They won't keep Trey Burton. The Eagles, just to start here for you, got 765 snaps from backups. Burton and Selleck last year at tight end. They were a major part of them offensively, like going through the chains. Now Burton's going to go for money. Selleck's going to leave because he's going to have a lot of time, obviously, to get somewhere else. So they put a lot of pressure on Zach Ertz. Now, the wide receivers are good, but they relied on Zach Ertz next year. If he gets an injury and you've got someone like Trey Burton to come in and replace him, you double your money. But without someone like Burton, they could struggle moving the chains. And I know Carson Wentz is a good quarterback, but you need your men that you did so well with last year.
Dad, what's the one thing you feel like the Eagles should do that they won't do?
And this is always tough when this person becomes a hero, but move on from the Super Bowl hero, Brandon Graham. Allow Derek Barnett to get more burns so we can start. That will actually free up cap space for them because they have some other decisions to make. But Super Bowl hero, getting that fumble, in a town that's never won a Super Bowl, that's a decision they should make that they may not make for sentimental reasons.
Junior Blue.
It was the trade Nick Foles.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's gonna want his money. He's proven Super Bowl. When can your stock be any higher? Super Bowl MVP. You beat the Patriots. He's gonna want his money. You look at somebody like Mike Glennon, who's making $15 million a year.
Made $15 million.
Made $15 million. And Nick Foles is making $7.5.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And how many teams has he been on?
Three.
Yeah.
And Garoppolo just signed the biggest contract of all time.
Yeah, he's up.
For Kaepernick numbers.
So I said that the one thing that the Eagles should do that we all know they won't do is nothing. I feel like they bring it all back. They've got players coming back. Sidney Jones, Carson Wentz, most likely Darren Sproles, Jason Peters. They've got players coming back that are equal to and or are better than what they already had when they won the Super Bowl. But I think to what everyone has been saying, they're not just going to not do anything. They're going to do something. And I think that's going to change the dynamic. Yes, Coach Joe.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
If they do, who do they franchise?
If they do what?
If they have to franchise one person that they don't want to leave, who's that?
They don't have to.
They don't have to franchise anybody.
Most of that core is coming back.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's in threat of.
No one's. Yeah, the biggest decision they have to make is Nigel Bradham. From key players is Nigel Bradham, and then I think who's their linebacker played really well. And then to a lesser extent, Darren Sproles. They got a decision to make on Darren Sproles if they want to bring him back.
So so what you said is pretty much everyone's coming back.
They made a decision with getting a Jai.
Okay, Ryan, coming back to you. The New England Patriots will go back to the Super Bowl because of this. And then give me one thing or one reason why they will not make it back to the Super Bowl.
we'll reach the Super Bowl because of the season they have. The schedule is just too easy. If you look at the teams who play in home and away, we have the easiest schedule of the year. And the reason they won't get there is if they don't protect Tom Brady correctly anyway. If they don't get the guys in, offensive tackle, and get some blockers in, what lasts the season.
Dad?
I think along the same lines as Ryan, they will because their division is just fucking awful.
Same thing I said.
They just
AFC East is trash.
They are just trash, and the reason why they won't, the last time that they made significant changes on the coaching staff, although it wasn't both coordinators this time, they came back the following season, went 10-6, and lost to Denver. So
talking about Charlie Weiss
and
Romeo Cornell.
Romeo Cornell, yeah.
Kev?
Yeah, both to Devin and Ryan's point, they play, of course, the AFC East, but they also play the AFC South and the NFC North in the 2018 season. So, 13-3 probably for them. But for me, as far as how they'll get back, again, it starts and ends with Bill Belichick. If he can adjust and continue to be the mastermind he's been to replace what they've lost, nobody's would be surprised if they come back. But they won't because of that defense, though. I mean, y'all talked about their shortcomings in the Super Bowl. They are trash, yo. Like that. If their offense wasn't so productive, we would see these flaws more often come up in games. But they just cannot continue to put that same product out on the field and expect them to carry them when the offense doesn't show up.
Redo?
I'm pretty much around the same vein. Is basically protect Brady because you see he can still throw the ball. If you protect him, it's hard for me to see them not going back. And a reason they won't go back is if they don't figure out a way to get younger and get on defense and get some team speed on defense because they were slow.
Junior Blue.
AFC East is trash. You walk in first game of the season, you already know you have a first round bye and home field advantage. Just because you know who you play. And then as far as them not making it back, it could be twofold. It could be Brady shows his age, which could happen. And that defense, I mean, you throw for 505 yards in a Super Bowl and you can't win. I mean, that's a problem.
I said Brady and Belichick, obviously, the reason why they could. I mean, it's if it ain't broke, don't break it.
For as long as it lasts.
But I also think that's the reason why they won't. Because of Brady and Belichick. I believe that there was legitimate smoke there between the conflict between Brady and Belichick, and we'll get to it a little bit later, but I also think that's the reason why Kraft literally prostituted himself to keep Josh McDaniels there because he becomes the buffer between Brady and Belichick. But I think with age, regression, I think that would be the reason also that they don't make it because I don't care who you are, Father Time is undefeated. And
you also said mid-season, Kenyon, that these Super Bowl winning Philadelphia Eagles was overrated.
Coach Joe, give me a
6-minute segment on that.
Right. Give me a reason why.
He moved on real quick.
Hey, Carson Wentz. That was what Carson Wentz is the quarterback. Nick Foles has experience.
Players fuck.
Wow.
Coach Joe, give me a reason why the Patriots will do it and one reason why they won't.
Well, I think we're all in on the poker table with the AFC East being trash.
Mm-hmm.
So
no one believes in the Buffalo Bills?
It's a family pot. It's a family pot right now.
It's a family pot.
Okay. But yeah, I really think to what you said that they will have an opportunity, a chance to be back because of them hiring Josh Daniels back and him being the mediator.
Is that what you calling it? Them hiring him back?
He took the job. Right? Last time I checked, he was within there. He effed them over.
With assistant coaches.
Wait, the coach said hashtag me too.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
Kevin just said that's funny, Ryan. Hilarious.
And give me one reason why they won't make it back, Joe.
Baltimore Ravens, baby.
All right. So, hey, let's
hashtag beat more.
Let's go to the Philadelphia Eagles. Kev, give me one reason why they get back and one reason why they will not win it all.
The Eagles will get back because of their depth. They have to be one of the deepest teams in the NFL, and
I think
that's
it's the
why
best roster.
Yeah, they've been able to sustain through the injuries that they've had. And like we mentioned before, basically everyone's coming back. Why I don't think they will is because the NFC is extremely deep. We had so many teams this year. We wouldn't have been surprised if if whether it be the Saints or the Vikings or maybe even the Falcons made it to the Super Bowl. And just teams don't routinely make it back to the Super Bowl. You have to win in it unless you're New England.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kev. Everything on the field will be the same or better is the reason why I thought they would get back. The reason why they're not, I'm channeling Coach Joe here, they're no longer the underdog. That motivation is no longer there. They go from hunting to being the hunted. And I think that might be the difference. Ryan, give me the reason why the Eagles will make it and the reason why they won't make it.
They won't make it, being honest. I don't think that. They've got the strength in depth, and that's the reason they could make it. But for me, they don't have anything to play in off-season. They've got a lot of missing salary cap. They've got a few players leaving. I think it's going to be hard. And you never know, Carson Wentz might not be back. Like, there's no guarantee he's going to be straight back this season. It's a bad injury, and obviously he's still in recovery now. I know he's got 6 months, but if he doesn't make it back and they get rid of Foles, where are they then? They don't have a third backup who's going to step up like Foles did, or like Case Keenum did at the Vikings. So I think it's a gamble.
That Patriot blood runs deep, huh, Ryan? Look at you.
He got cut.
Hater ass, huh? Junior Blue.
The reason they make it back is because they were missing a MVP candidate at quarterback. They were missing the best offensive lineman, Lane Johnson. And, there's players coming back. They are depth. They have depth, like Kevin said. The reason they won't make it because they're going to be in a Super Bowl hangover all next year.
The whole city.
The whole city. Greased poles and all.
Well, along the same lines as the Patriots, I think they get back because that division is weak. Redskins, new quarterback. We'll see what happens. Still no weapons. Dallas, drama queens. We'll know what the fuck is going to happen with them. Giants, new coach. They're going to win the division walking away.
And they hired Mike Shula as the OC. The Giants did.
Yeah. The reason why they won't, we don't know exactly how Wentz is going to respond coming back from an ACL tear. Mm-hmm. We just don't know. That was week 11, 12, something like that when he tore it. So it's way past midseason and having to recuperate from that. He's not going to be able to throw in OTAs. He's going to have to come in the preseason and get warmed up.
And that's why you hold on to Nick Foles.
ACL
Exactly.
Everybody die in the hood every day, B. ACL tears. Everyone gets one in the hood. B. He will be back from an ACL tear.
I didn't know where you was going, Joe.
You see where I'm going?
I thought you had a flashback. Yeah.
Paid in full.
Everyone gets ACL tears in the hood, B.
Redo.
Rico.
Wentz is healthy and takes a step forward. Mm-hmm. And if he takes a step forward, then, he was hard to stop in his second year. It's the exact same reason why they don't go back is if he's not healthy, there's different coaches. It's not the same quarterback room anymore. So if he takes a step back, which is highly possible, they don't make it.
All right. One more Patriots question. Oh, Coach Joe.
Don't forget about me. I'm just here every once in a blue moon.
We know.
Didn't we ask him already?
No,
he just chimed in. He just chimed in.
Oh, okay.
Give me your reasons.
Well, I honestly believe that because of the season and because of the brotherhood that they had there, I think it keeps going. And the way what Doug Peterson is doing over there, he has that team believing in everything.
Right.
And for the comment that was made that they can't call themselves an underdog anymore, Rocky did it how many times? And it's in Philadelphia, son.
Hey, one thing I will say, though, is we can't overlook the loss of Frank Reich.
Mm-hmm.
Not Frank Wright, Joe DiFilippo.
You say it, Omar.
Oh my God,
Omar say it.
I got too much fucking gentleman jacket. It's DiFilippo.
That was DiFilipino. Yeah, right. But
the run game. Let's not forget about the run game. The blunt, and the blonde haired dread tip dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Ajayi.
No, I know who he is, but
Yeah.
everyone else needs. They're gonna find out next year.
The UK knows
because he
who
was
he is,
salty.
too.
He didn't want to leave Miami,
Yeah.
but then he got in a good situation.
But so you think they're gonna bring Blunt back because he's a free agent?
They're gonna bring them both back.
Did you like Corey Clement? I said it in the chat. I was like, guys, Corey Clement.
That's why they won't bring Sproles back.
Oh, for
That
Sproles?
is the replacement.
Not for Blunt?
No,
They use all three of them because all three of them give you three different elements.
Exactly, Devin.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, the reason why they won't get back, of course, is because the true flap.
There's only
that
one
black
bird,
and purple, baby.
one true bird in the sky.
That
All right.
black and purple.
Ryan, are you concerned about Gronk and his statements after the end of the Super Bowl?
I mean, Belichick said it. Everyone takes a couple of days to a week to decide whether they're going to come back. He's back.
Let's hear some more Glory Boy talk. Okay. What do you think about they made Brian Flores the defensive coordinator? Are you ready for Teddy Bruschi to now start his coaching career and get off of ESPN?
Yeah, this is something I said to you on the chat before, obviously, tonight. He's primed and ready. He said about 4 years ago he was ready for his coaching. He's a symbol for the past Patriots history.
Yes, he is.
Perfect guy.
He definitely is. He definitely is drinking the Coke juice for sure. Okay. And if there was one player that you wanted your team to get in the offseason, Richard Sherman or Jarvis Landry?
You see, I would like either, but I've been doing my research, obviously, about the draft. And there's one player, I wouldn't even mind if we didn't sign anyone in free agency, but Dorrance Armstrong from Kansas, linebacker, pass rusher, I think he'd be the perfect guy to bring into this defense.
Yeah.
He's fast. He had a bad season in 2016, but 2017, here's some stats for you.
Ryan, Coach Joe was over there shaking his head. Yeah.
I know.
So I don't
Yeah,
know
here
any
we go.
Kansas games any of us didn't watch.
Right.
So he had 10 sacks, 20 tackles for loss, 56 tackles, and 3 forced fumbles in 1 year. And that was 2 years ago. I think he could be the guy to come in and bring the youth in. I really would like to see Armstrong as a Patriot.
So you want some youth definitely in that defensive front seven?
They need it. There's a lot of aging players. I mean, I know Butler was a brilliant player, but he's still 28, and Belichick's going to do what he does and bring in some players cheaper.
Yeah,
Get
like
better
how he's
out
going to
of
do with Brady. I'm just joking, Ryan. That's my undercut jab.
Part of the reason why we have you on here is because, again, we, the league ambassadors, we believe that there is an opportunity to engage new fans internationally. And so 32 Kings Road was sort of our first foray into that by examining the relationship between the NFL and the UK. We had a great time out in the UK. We're actually going back definitely in October. But talk to us about the relationship from your perspective, being someone that is from the UK, that lives in the UK. Talk about what's happening, the synergy that's happening between the NFL and the United Kingdom. And it's funny because over here in America, I think we would all agree that we're seeing that the popularity of the NFL is sort of on the decline with the protests that have been happening, with the concern around player safety and specifically concussions. But I feel like it's a different picture over in the UK. What say you, Ryan?
I agree. And one of the main things is fan engagement. Obviously, the NFL have branded out. They're bringing more games. Obviously, this year's a bit of a lull because there's going to only be 3. But the actual engagement with the fans has become bigger. You guys especially, obviously, you were over there. You discussed a lot with fans. You've spoken to them a lot. I'm sure they've obviously contributed with the website as well. The Super Bowl being a perfect example. I was in a casino in Leeds till the early hours of the morning. Didn't win any money, so it was a bad day for me. But there was nearly every single team jersey there. There was only 6 Patriots. Now, you think this is a final. A lot of people are glory boys, as you say, but when you look at it, you had 49ers jerseys, you had Bears jerseys. We saw a couple of Browns jerseys, believe it or not. There are still I have it on good assurance. So I think it's becoming a bigger sport in the UK. I think it's only a couple of years until we actually get the London franchise, whatever team that may be.
Do you think that getting a franchise in London is a good idea, or should they continue with this sort of all-star round robin approach that they've had the last few years?
I think it'll create a lot of trouble to bring a franchise to the UK because of travel arrangements. A lot of players talk, post game how it affects them in terms of getting there and getting back. And Jonathan Franklin, who you had on the last show, he even explained, obviously, when you get over there and you're there for a couple of days, it's new to you. So I think it could be a big problem getting a franchise that's already existing. But if you expand teams, then yeah, there'll be an opportunity because they're already looking at Mexico, UK, even Germany's an option now because obviously the engagement over there from the previous European League will actually give them an opportunity. There's a lot of NFL fans in Germany as well, so I think it'd be a new team if they did it.
How popular, talk about the popularity of the actual sport of football. So stepping aside from the NFL, just the sport of football in Europe. Where would you say on the scale of 1 to 10 in terms of its popularity, the American football sport?
With soccer being 10?
Well, soccer being 1. You've then got basketball's quite big. Cricket, I'd say it's probably 3 or 4 in all fairness, but it's probably behind rugby, behind football, obviously as number 1. But a lot of the sports are kind of niche. Over here, you've got them away from Europe, you've got different sports, but I'd say it's about 4 or 5 in the list. Golf's big, but it's boring, so you don't really.
All right. Well, man, we're so happy that you came on, and really, 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 really a golf clap for you.
Yeah.
Because it's legit 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. We had a great time with you, and we look forward to seeing you again. Pub your social media. Talk about We Love Leeds. Give us all the information so our listeners can get on board with you and what you got going.
All 3 of them.
Yeah, so my Twitter is 14. And obviously I just put a lot of past comments, not much else. So don't bother following me on Red Zone Sunday because I'm just going to talk about who I hate and who I love. I run with my dad. I run a website called weallloveleeds.co.uk. It follows Leeds United. We're engaged with the actual club. We go to every game, so we show live coverage. It's really popular over here at the moment, so we're recording millions of views a year. I'm really proud of the project, and we're hoping to branch out into different sports at some point in the near year. So we'll be speaking with you guys, and obviously for me, it's been a pleasure to come on. I'm looking forward to seeing you again this year in London or over in LA. I think it's going to be a fun time. And yeah, it's been good. Redo, I think that you've been a bit quiet. I'm waiting for your Patriots hate, but I'm sure I'll get it on Twitter at some point.
Listen, I don't like to rub things in.
Pause.
You can take. I understand you're a grown man. You can take that loss like a man, and I know it hurts. So it was no reason for me to rub in that destruction of a loss, the destruction of the coaches. I didn't need to rub it in. So I was trying to be nice.
Shit, I can do it.
Did you hear that, Ryan?
No, I didn't.
Well, I'll be the relayer. Kevin said, shit, he can do it. But you can't hear him, of course.
I'll be a huckleberry.
Yeah. Now, Ryan, real quick, are you still trying to come out here for the springtime?
Yes, still looking into it. I said I'd speak to Kev. Speak to Kenny as soon as possible, and we'll get something sorted so I can get my tickets and get over as soon as possible. I need to arrange it.
Yes, we want you to come over because we're going to bring you in studio for confirmation bias for sure.
One last question. When we come over there for the UK game, your dad mentioned going to some Leeds games. Are there games going on through that time in October?
So the fixture list isn't released until June. But what we're going to do is we're obviously going to let you know as soon as possible when the actual dates are for games. Obviously, depending on which game you're going to. And if not, you can just come to Leeds and we'll have a big party instead.
Hey. Can we go to Shortage?
Good deal, Ryan. We will talk with you soon. Thank you for coming on, brother, and get some rest.
No worries. See you later, guys.
32 Kings, bro. Yes!
Good job.
All right.
All right, man.
All right. So yeah, I mean, us going to London. First of all, Ryan, that was awesome to have him on.
Yeah.
Us going to London was a really great experience. And actually, we have a clip that we want to run for you guys, just so you can see really just how much the UK fans know about the sport of football. Check this out. Marshawn Lynch's favorite candy is?
Skittles.
Okay, there we go. All right, so you are, okay, I'll go around. You're a Seahawks fan. Who's your favorite Seahawks player? Is it Russell Wilson?
It's Thomas Rawls.
Yeah, Thomas Rawls. Interesting. Okay, wow. All right. That did kind of mess me up. Yeah, and he went the other way. All right. Give me the name at the beginning of the season. Your starting left tackle was his name was what? And what alternate sport did he play?
He played basketball as George Fant.
Yes, George Fant. Okay, good deal. Your favorite team? Titans. How did that happen?
Recently changed.
Johnny Cash. Because he was a
Oh,
you like Johnny Cash?
Yeah.
You was a Patriots fan?
I got fed up with winning.
Great answer. Sorry. We all hate the Patriots. All right. Tennessee Titans. Starting running back is Marcus Mariota. Correct? No, that's not the starting running back. Marcus Mariota's not the starting running back. I mean, he's not the starting running back. You're absolutely right about that. He's the starting quarterback. What college did he go to?
Mariota. Oregon.
Huh?
Oregon.
He did go to Oregon.
Nice.
I know, right? Oh, Tajay Sharp. See? Why? Starting slot wide receiver. Okay, no. Corey Davis. What school did he come out of?
It wasn't Michigan, was it?
It was a Michigan, but it wasn't.
It was Michigan State.
It was not Michigan State.
But it was the other one.
There are a lot of them. Western Michigan. Jags fans. Allen Robinson. What position did he play in college?
No. Say wide receiver.
No, he was actually a quarterback.
Oh,
He was a quarterback. You know what school he went to?
I don't. That was the year I started following.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. You started following?
Yeah, because that was about the year they signed their Wembley contract, and that's when I thought I'd pick Jags because they're close as my home team.
Yeah. Awesome. So what do you think about Blake Bortles? Tell me the truth. Are you ready to move on from him?
He took a breath.
He did take He took a breath.
Well, in case he does well, in case he does do well, I've got a
He said, Omar, in case he does well, I got the jersey. Otherwise.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you ready to move on from him?
Realistically, I think this is a decided season. You want to back him because he's the starting quarterback. You want to back him if he's good, bad, whatever. But if he's bad this season, I'm okay for drafting somebody else.
Okay.
We picked up his fifth-year
So
option.
you're ready. You're willing to give.
I'm going to back him 100%.
You were okay.
back him.
You were okay with them running it back with him
Yep.
at the start of the season.
Yep.
Okay. Patriots fan.
Yes. Yeah, we'll go.
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Matthew Slater. You know who that is?
Yes.
Okay. Matthew Slater. What college did he go to?
I have no idea.
Okay. Do you know who Matthew Slater's father is?
Mr. Slater.
Good answer. Jackie Slater. You heard of Jackie Slater?
I have not.
Los Angeles Rams. He's a legendary lineman. He's a Rams legendary lineman. Matthew Slater went to UCLA.
I told you about it. Last year.
Eagles. We got another bird here. Why are you an Eagles fan?
Watched them in 2004 when I was at uni.
Okay.
And they were McNabb, exciting team, Owens, all that sort of stuff.
You like McNabb?
Yeah.
Does it? Okay.
Is McNabb a Hall of Famer?
That's the real question. No. Should he? Should he be a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Really?
So it was really exciting to play. He ran, he threw.
There's another one of us that feels that way. I don't know.
All right.
He's in the Hall of Very Good.
Philadelphia Eagles. What do you think about Andy Reid as a coach? That's not even a trivia question. That's just a real question. I just want to know.
I think he's a really good one. It's just that when he was at the Eagles, just every week it was like, just run the ball.
Please just run the ball.
We all felt that way.
We all felt that way.
You've got Westbrook.
It's right.
You got Westbrook. Why are you not running him?
Yeah.
There was a stat as well. Like every time they ran 20 times, they won.
Yeah.
And they'd run 19 every week. And you'd be like, why are you not doing it?
I love that. It's awesome to come over here and you guys have the same sort of perception of the game or understanding of the game as we do. Like, what's wrong with Carson Palmer? I want you to tell me. What's wrong with him? Or do you think he's fine?
No, I think the main issue you got a pocket passer.
Okay.
And the O-line at the moment are protected him. And when he gets a bit antsy, he's shit. But you can see at the end of the Lions game, he calmed down a bit. He got playing.
Hey, I got another one. Antsy. Carson Palmer, when he gets antsy, he's shit.
Yeah.
And you're right. And you're absolutely right. You're right. He was shook from Green Bay, the Green Bay conference finals.
Yeah.
He hasn't been the same since.
There's a few good games you see some like really nice passes he can do.
Yes.
That's it to JJ Nelson, but it's just if you give him a clean pocket, he does well. Out of a clean pocket, he starts playing really good shit. They can make some of his interceptions just bad, even just playing bad. Can't be issues, but he still makes some good throws.
So what do you think about Blake Bortles? Tell the truth and shame the devil.
To be honest with you, I was a big fan when he started.
Okay, that's fine. I get it. Central Florida, I get it.
No. It wasn't. Watch out, mate. It wasn't the fact that he was from Central Florida.
Right.
I'm the college football guy, so It was just the fact that he seemed to be different than Blaine Gabbert. You know, I liked it when he was doing pump fakes and throwing it deep and all that fun stuff. And I was super he got a lot of crap for his rookie season. He didn't have a lot to play with.
Okay.
Year 2, where he threw for 35 touchdowns and 16 interceptions.
Yes.
I loved it.
Yes. He was all in.
Yeah, he was trying. You know, he put the team on his back.
And now
he's got to step it up.
Yeah, that was an awesome time over there, man. And talking about the biggest takeaways, my biggest takeaway from that trip was the knowledge that the fans had. Like, it was amazing how much they knew. And we talked about this when we came back, but you know, taking a look at that clip, the knowledge that they had about the college game and the teams and the history and all the stories of why they became teams was just amazing to me. I really just thought it was like a fad, but it's truly a real thing over there.
Yeah, I mean, it blew me away. The excitement, and again, you know, that Sunday when we were outside before the game was the green man. Is that what it was called?
The green room.
The green man. The green man. You literally saw jerseys from every team in football, even though the game was
the green room is a totally different experience.
Omar, you're telling on yourself. The green man. The green man, and now, folks, the roller coaster begins. The green man. It was Jacksonville and Baltimore. But literally, you saw jerseys from every team in football. It was really impressive, and it gave me great hope about what we're doing. Like, we're onto something, I think.
Yeah. It goes back to 5 minutes off the plane, and we had a surreal experience, and it almost colored our experience until we got just like that away from people from that person, and you see the difference, you see the love they have for the game, man. It was unexpected to the point where it was like, okay, wait a second, no, he knows his shit. No, really, he knows his shit.
I mean, when they were talking about fantasy and everything, they were talking about their fantasy football, the Jaguars, how amped their fans were,
right?
And then another thing, how well the Ravens traveled. I have to give it up to them for that.
You mean the fans?
The fans.
The
team
didn't leave BWI.
Nah.
But it took more than those 5 minutes on the train, because we also went to a pub before we got comfortable.
Crickets.
Where literally the movie scene happened where you walk in and the record player stopped and everyone turned around and looked at us.
About eight old white men and 6 black men walking in. Yeah. No, sir.
Yeah.
But I was taken aback by how righteous Omar was for the whole trip. He served as a. Would you say? Like,
I was like, not the whole trip. It was one instance that changed everything in his life.
Most of the trip, he was a great leader, a father.
Look right.
Exactly.
Who fell asleep on most of our train rides, but
Hey, when you a father figure, you got to get your sleep somewhere.
You almost got that big sleep because you was Hey,
It's not left, right, left. It's right, left, right.
Mind the gap.
Shout out to Junior Blue for saving my life.
Jesus.
Oh man.
Because that bus driver was not stopping.
Nah, you was bonus points. American bonus points.
We're looking forward to going back in October. I guess we got to figure out which game. I mean, we
know which game. Yeah, we know.
We know.
We know. Yeah, we just don't know who the second game is going to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Coach Joe, not to leave him out, but he is an actual coach. So it runs during the middle of the season. Have you scheduled your bye week yet, Coach?
Yeah, I scheduled it for September because I thought it was going to be, which would have been the middle of October originally.
Well, I mean, they released the schedule, Joe. We don't have nothing to do with the schedule. That's when they said they're going over there. It's 3 weeks instead of 4, which apparently has something to do with.
Yeah, but I did my schedule back in December.
Well, then there it is.
Know that.
Let's move on to hot topics. Again, a week late, but still, I think a great discussion nonetheless. Hall of Fame. And of course, we've got 3 Baltimore Ravens fans in here, and I'm sure they're not surprised. I
We
mean,
knew this day was coming.
Ray Lewis was the first ballot. Oh, I'm sorry.
Kenyon Sugar Ray Lewis.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Sugar Ray. Oh, it's Sugar Ray today. It's
No. Sugar Ray's going to the Hall of Fame.
Sugar Ray. Oh, Sugar Ray's.
I don't know about that.
Sugar Ray's going to the Hall of Fame. For those of you that are wondering who has a cold in here, it's Omar. Because also Brian Urlacher, first ballot Hall of Famer, which,
Yeah.
are you surprised by? Anybody surprised by Urlacher?
I'm not. I actually got into an interesting Facebook debate.
I don't know why you do those, Devin.
I was bored. A good friend of mine was trying to say that it's messed up that he got in now because they always tried to lump them two together like they were the same. And I tried to explain to him how that's not how the Hall of Fame works. Because there is only one Ray Lewis. Brian Urlacher was clearly the number 2 middle linebacker in that era, far and away. But he's a Hall of Famer, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he deserves to get in.
Especially considering the fact that he was a strong safety in his college
Oh,
career.
Okay, I will say this about Brian Urlacher. I never really liked him as a inside backer.
He really wants to fight Omar. Here we go.
I always thought he was an outside linebacker playing inside, and they gave him too much credit when he. Honestly, I've watched games where he got ran the F over.
Look at Kevin's face.
So he was a strong safety in college. And they just pumped him, and I don't think he's a first round Hall of Famer. I think he's a Hall of Famer. I don't think that he should come in right now as a Hall of Famer. He should have got pushed back, and just like they did T.O. So do you think he's better than T.O.?
Fuck no. T.O. is one of the greatest wide receivers.
So why is it taking so long? Took so long for T.O. to get in?
Dickhead.
No,
you conflating issues.
You know what? I'm not. I just think he should have got passed off this year and came in on the next time.
99. Hey Joe, 99% of the games he played.
Mike, stay with Kevin.
Wait, hold on.
Actually,
can I say
the other
this?
linebacker that played next to him.
I'll let you finish.
Was it Briggs?
No,
Lance Briggs.
Lance Briggs, right? Was way better than him.
Ask Lance Briggs who was better.
I will tell you that I did talk to Lance Briggs. And he told me not that he was definitely better than
Lance
him.
Briggs sings his praises at all times. I'll say this. Regardless of what you think of Urlacher, 99% of the time he was the best fucking player on the field.
Except for when they played the Ravens.
Yes.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
At the same
Don't get me twisted,
I
Omar.
said 99% of the time.
Omar, don't get me twisted. I liked him. He's a football player. I just don't think he should be getting in
first ballot.
Ask Dennis Green.
So the question is, okay, so
ask
then
Dennis Green how good that man is.
So the question is, and I hope you can nail this, Joe, is if it's not Urlacher, who should have gotten in place of Urlacher?
Who was the other candidate?
Damn it, Joe.
I'm sorry.
I wanted you to know.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Give me
Isaac Bruce.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
That's
Definitely
who I
him.
had.
Tony Baselli.
No, not Tony, but
not
Isaac.
Tony.
Yes. Come on. Who
Tony
else?
Baselli, really?
Nah.
Career
Six years
short.
Not
ago.
over top of him.
John Lynch.
They're equal. I actually like John Lynch better than Urlacher.
Hey, he was a white DB, man.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
That's
first ballot on the list.
that's like the honey not being on Cheerios, if you know what I'm saying.
All right, we're gonna move away from Joe. So, do we agree that they got the 5 right?
I do.
It's not
Yes.
right.
They got
You
it
can't have Cheerios without the honey, not the honey on it.
Kev, did they get the 5 right? Please save us. Please save us. Please, Kevin.
Yeah. Yes. I think they did.
He
get it
over
right.
there having hot
Guys,
flashes.
Should be in. No dispute. Is there anything else?
Isaac Bruce.
I think
should have definitely got him before
I
him.
think that they got the 5 right, but I agree with you. And this is one of the questions I had was who should have gotten in, who should have got. Well, the question is this: who should have gotten in, who will get in next
Isaac
year?
Bruce. Yeah.
Isaac Bruce.
But T.O. had to get in first.
Well,
Yeah,
first of
yeah,
all,
yeah,
the
yeah.
only reason why T.O. got in is because
Randy Moss.
Randy
Randy
Moss
Moss.
is going in, and you can't have somebody who had inferior numbers
Yeah.
going in
Not
over Owens.
inferior.
Yeah.
They're
No,
like-
inferior.
No, it's definitely inferior. Isaac Bruce.
No. Talking about
Randy Moss and his?
Nah, one. I mean, it's very close, and one
But
has
it's
more
inferior
touchdowns.
because it's less. That's what
And
inferior
one went
means.
to 2 Super Bowls.
I mean,
Inferior
But I think the
numbers.
timing. I think the timing is great though. Philly winning the Super Bowl. You get T.O. and Brian Dawkins.
Yeah, that was dope.
Oh, the dark.
yes,
Yeah, he got in.
I mean, I think the TOO Randy Moss thing. I think I agree with you, Omar. I think that's right. Like it was like you're not gonna put in Randy Moss and not put in T.O. The thing for me, T.O. Real quick, and we can go around with this. I think T.O. was a better receiver than Randy Moss because literally everywhere T.O. went, he produced. Randy Moss did not.
Well,
I wouldn't say
I think
better
they're two
receiver.
different.
What did he do? What did he do for you, Les? What did he do for you, Les?
who was his quarterback?
I don't care. Who was T.O.'s quarterback? Who was his quarterback in Buffalo? You don't even know.
Who was the quarterback in San
Buffalo.
Francisco? Who's the quarterback in San Francisco?
He had two good ones.
You talking about Garcia? Not Garcia. What's his name?
He had
Garcia was
Steve Young and Jeff Garcia.
Jeff Garcia.
Garcia was his
Come on, man.
Jeff Garcia.
No, who was his quarterback in Buffalo? Who was his quarterback in Cincinnati?
No one counts that shit. That shit don't count.
But he still. My point is that he still produced.
Still put numbers
that
up.
only prolonged him from
Every
getting in the Hall
city
of
that he
Fame.
went to.
Kev?
That's a tough question because both of them were just freaks. I mean, Randy Moss, of course, was his nickname, but what T.O. did in the Super Bowl on a broken leg, I have never seen that shit before.
Yeah, he should have already been in there.
If T.O. was not an asshole,
He would have been a first ballot.
Yeah, he would have been a first
He
ballot
would
the first
be
time.
held up there close to Jerry Rice, and just he's a dickhead, and that's the reason why people don't like him.
Yeah, and that's why I was gonna say that he didn't get in last time. He had a couple years to clean his image up, and he's been trying to do that the last couple years.
They still don't like him. They just knew they couldn't put Randy Moss in there without putting him in.
People are starting to like him. He's starting to do a lot of PR stuff.
Yeah, but
he got kicked out of the Big Brother house. Or MTV, with the MTV one. He got kicked out of the MTV one. The challenge.
No, he quit.
That too.
But to go back to like who should get in next year, like Isaac Bruce.
Yeah, Isaac Bruce.
This would be his 4th time being a finalist.
They couldn't put him in with this one though.
They couldn't. John Lynch, 6th time being a finalist.
Over Tony Baselli?
Yes, John Lynch over Tony Baselli.
Y'all are hating on Tony Baselli,
you
man.
hating because he a Trojan.
Listen.
but most importantly, Don Coryell, Air Coryell. This is his 10th time being this year a finalist.
Fella. I don't think Air Coryell gonna get in.
He has to get in for what he changed the game. Dan Fouts would not be in the Hall of Fame without him.
Well, let's go to the last question, which is we know for sure. There's 3 names that we know for sure. I don't know if they're first ballots, and we can have this conversation. I'm actually really interested, especially, and I'll start with you, Dad.
Yeah.
Because you're going Coryell. You're saying Coryell and Isaac Bruce. So that leaves 3 slots. Okay, Tony Gonzalez is getting in.
That's my pick.
We can stop right there, right? Mm-hmm. We got Champ Bailey and we got Ed Reed.
Both of them getting in.
If we can only pick one, though,
Ed Reed.
It's Ed Reed.
Champ Bailey.
Nah,
He's
just doing
only
it.
one.
You can see it. You can see the devil. You can see the devil there.
Champ Bailey had a better career than that, Reed.
Did he? How many Super Bowls did
Die
Champ Bailey
now.
win?
You're tripping.
He said, "Die now."
Look,
tripping. He's trolling.
Hey, Kevin, exactly. That bullshit he was talking earlier, it's the same shit.
That wasn't bullshit.
It is. It's bullshit.
Come on now.
Fuck out of
Let's
here
be
with
honest
that.
with you.
The man got us to a Super Bowl
Mike,
single
go to
fucking
Kevin.
handedly.
Mike, go to Kevin.
Rex Grossman was our quarterback, and he got us to the Super Bowl.
Champ Bailey. Do you
No.
even know who Champ Bailey is?
If you're listening
give
to
a
the
fuck about Champ
if you're
Bailey.
listening to the
Every
podcast
is-
now, you want to watch the video just to look at Kevin's face as this banter
I'm
is
just
going back
fucking
and
with
forth.
you. Ed Reed is gone.
Is that really a conversation though?
I mean, first of all,
He's arguably
you knock Tony Baselli, but the thing is this: Tony Baselli. Ask Bruce Smith about Tony Baselli.
Yeah, but he played 6 years.
Okay, if Terrell Davis got in, Tony Baselli gets in.
No.
Facts.
I don't
Your
know.
Kevin.
Not
That's
not
a
this
great
year.
point. And trust me,
Kevin.
this was before the Ravens got here, so I was kind of a Denver Broncos fan. Terrell Davis was a good player, but for him to get in over Tony Baselli, that's ridiculous.
Tony Baselli was the second. Tony Baselli made the 1990s All-Decade team, and he played 4 years in that decade. And he made All-Decade. Again, ask Bruce Smith about Tony Baselli.
He should go in over arguably one of the best players of his position. Definitely 1 or 2 in his era. Arguably top 3 in the entire
might not get
history.
into a weak one.
I'm saying if Baselli gets in, Bruce gets in, Tony Gonzalez gets in, there's 2 slots left. You've got guys like Kevin Mawai, Ty Law.
Yeah, all those guys are under any of those guys we already talked about.
Yeah.
They are. I mean, and they
Asante
should get in.
Samuel.
Well, come on now.
Just saying, he's on the list. He's on the list.
You said Ashanti?
Don, you okay? No, but
The
my
singer
point is this.
Ashanti?
So my point is this. My point is this. Tony Baselli, Isaac Bruce, Tony Gonzalez. You're saying Don Coryell,
No,
which
but
I don't think is a bad argument.
He doesn't get in on the 5 though. He gets in on the old timer stuff.
Oh, Coryell?
Yeah.
Oh, Devin, leave it to you to twist shit up. No, I thought you was talking about the 5. We're talking about the 5.
I don't even think Eric Coryell is alive. To be honest with you, I had to do some more. Somebody Google it.
I think Don Coryell. Is he alive?
Hold on. I hope he's dead now.
I hope he is dead. I think he's alive though. Kevin, Google that. Moving on to hot topics, we touched on it a little bit earlier, but Josh McDaniels. I mean, we can't.
It's not Mac Daniels.
It's Mac Daniels. It is Josh Mac. It is a Mac Daniels. Mac Daniels, and we'll start in reverse. And I feel like, well, because we were talking about Ryan and how he was still taking a dig at the Eagles, talking about there's just no chance that they can make it. But one could argue that this was the Patriots really getting back at the Eagles. Because with Mac Daniels whiffing on the job,
Jesus, man.
they take Frank Wright, and now Doug Peterson is there by his lonesome.
Brain drain is gone.
Oh
The
man,
brain-
because Peyton Manning, the 5 head himself, said he would lean on Frank Wright when times got tough. He would call him because Frank Wright is one of them football guys. For him to be in that position and be able to mentor Wentz and then help Foles, and they just completely changed the entire offense around to their RPO shit so they
Yeah.
can be effective.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson is of that offensive mind, but it's Andy Reid.
Yeah.
We know where that gets you.
Yeah.
What the fuck does happen though?
I mean, so my question to you, and I ask you, Coach Joe, I'll start with you. Should teams, as a result of Mac Daniels, should teams not be allowed to target coaches while they're still in season? Because if that rule were in place,
Yeah.
the Colts wouldn't have been put in the position that they were in. Should there be a change? Should there be a Josh McDaniels rule that says that if a coach is still working, if they're still in season, that teams shouldn't even be able to talk to them or consider them?
No, I don't think so. I think that shouldn't be a rule. Me personally, if you can fire a guy after 1 or 2 years, why can't he go interview for a job before he's done another job?
Interesting.
It also-
Redo?
Easy fix. No one can hire a coach before this.
I would say that before that.
Yeah,
like
before
you
the Super
can't
Bowl.
when the Super Bowl's over, then everyone can start.
So then it's
interviewing.
open season.
I would
You
prefer
can't-
that because if I'm a coach and just because I'm doing great at my job and we're in the Super Bowl and everyone else has shit the bed, why should that guy have the opportunity to interview
Get a
with all
job
these
before you
jobs
can.
before me and I've had a better season than him?
Okay. Kev. Do we think?
First off, John Coryell died.
Oh no!
What
He
year?
died 8 years ago.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah, let's vote for him to get in. Let's get him in.
Thank you, Kev.
Let's get him in.
Kev, do we think Josh McDaniels succeeds Bill Belichick?
I think that will be best for New England.
I think that'd be best for Josh McDaniels too, right? Because he's not getting enough.
Hey, because he committed career suicide, man,
Yep.
with this, with pulling the mat out from under Indy. As much as I hate Indy, I think this was. I mean, it just shows how cutthroat the Patriots are, man.
His agent.
Listen.
They just flat out petty.
Yeah, but look, I didn't think about that. Kenyon?
What?
Him being the next New England Patriots head coach.
That's always in the cards, buddy.
I wasn't thinking like that.
Well, my thing is this: if it's not that, how fucked up is Andrew Luck's shoulder to not take that job?
I don't know.
Nah, Andrew Luck's shoulder.
Sight already seen.
The way Andrew Luck is talking, his shoulder's okay.
I don't think it has anything to do with the quarterback.
Or is it Jim Irsay?
Hey, you go from Kraft to Ursay?
Somebody loves Gentleman Jack more than us.
Junior Blue.
Junior Blue. Why do you think Kraft all of a sudden put the... I mean, I alluded to what I thought earlier, but why do you think Kraft put the press on McDaniels all of a sudden?
Because he sees Belichick walking out the door in a year or two.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I
And
didn't think about that.
he's paying him like a head coach.
Yep.
And you know that organization is top notch. What else you gonna do?
Jimmy Garoppolo, we talked about it earlier. He is now, step up Jimmy, the highest paid player in the National Football League. We know that another quarterback will pass him shortly. The thing that's
Not Kaepernick.
The thing that's interesting about this deal, before people trounce on this, it is a heavily front-loaded deal. San Francisco is second to the Cleveland Browns in terms of having the most cap space. Yeah. They got like $1 bazillion. $37 million of the 100 and whatever number is in year one. Over the remaining 4 years of the deal, it's about $22 million a year, which if they keep if they keep their cap in line, it'll be no more than 12% of their overall salary cap. Teams are usually at like 15%. So Kevin, even though we've been on the train about, hey, you don't have to overpay for these quarterbacks, the Niners are like, hey, we got the money to spend, we gonna spend it, but we gonna front load it. Dad, you're shaking your head because you not jiving with it.
No, I mean, I think Kevin so eloquently stated a few weeks ago that you don't need to pay your quarterback that much. I mean, it's been 6 games. Omar in our personal chat put that graphic out there over 6 games. Him and Kaepernick are basically the same. If not, Kaepernick's numbers are better. So you didn't have to rush to judgment to go ahead and give him the highest paid, make him the highest paid player in the league right now. Let him go out and play this year. You still got all that money. You lose more money by even though it's front loaded, you lose more this year. Put some more pieces around him and then see how he flourishes. I mean, there's no tape on him really. Now there'll be some tape.
Kev?
Yeah, as much as this irked my soul, I think that their reasoning behind it was like, look, let's solidify our franchise quarterback now. So then we kind of have a good sales pitch to, other free agents out there that they may not be able to see that in other teams. Like you mentioned, they may have $63 million in cap space. So they're going to be able to spend to get him weapons, unlike other teams when they pay their quarterbacks this much money. Mm-hmm. But so, San Francisco is now, aside from the weather, of course, and that they're closer to watch Golden State Warrior games. It's a great free agent destination, but my issue is they could have paid him $80 to $90 million and accomplished the same thing. Why make him the highest paid player in football after just 5 meaningless games?
All right. Before we get out of here, we've got some show business that we need to handle. As we know, all season we've had a competition amongst the ambassadors in terms of who will have the best record for picking games. First, let's deal with our loser, which I feel like this is just going to be an annual thing.
Let's just call it the Omar
Let's just call it the Omar Award.
This is the last time I don't cheat.
And so as punishment, Redo, it's 32 Kings Road. You've got 3.2 seconds to chug. Gentlemen,
32.
It's 32, baby.
Fuck that point.
Yeah,
It's better than 6
3.2.
seconds. I had to do 6 seconds for Hennessy though, didn't I?
You did.
You
but-
did.
You did.
Yeah.
Ready?
I mean, I'm not down.
Come on. Here we go.
No, I am. But
No,
I'm
I
not.
know, but you're not.
You got to turn the bottle around.
Yeah, turn the bottle around for me.
Turn the bottle around. Shout out to Gentleman Jack. Gentleman Jack, come
two
see
hands.
us.
2 hands.
Yeah,
Two hands.
You gotta do it 2
In the
hands.
spirit of less, it's 2 hands.
You gotta do 2 hands,
Make
baby.
sure it's on the lips.
Oh my God, Joe. Come on, Joe.
No pause.
Come on, Joe.
No pause.
No
Come on,
pause.
man.
Let it flow.
I'm fine.
Let it.
Just stop.
He's still going. He's still going. Ready?
Wait, give me a second. All right.
What happens when you lose? Go. 1, 2, 3.1, 3.2.
Hey, Les, call the Uber now.
Hey,
Right now.
all the Ubers. All right, and then we have a Omar will be gone for a minute.
He needs to
We've got we had a tie this
Yeah, to
year
walk it
actually
off.
with our winners. Dad, Ambassador Dad, most wins, and was tied with Coach Joe. Now this is a worst to first recovery that is unknown to man. We won't ask any questions, but
I'm gonna pay Joe to get the secret of his cheat.
what we figured that we would do is anybody watching us, by the way?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
so
on it.
we got people watching us. So what we want to do is we want to open up the floor, a minute and a half each, to Dad and to Coach Joe. They're going to convince us and whoever is watching us right now live on Facebook why they should be the winner. We will start. We'll let our elders go first.
Oh.
So Coach Joe.
You can let him go first.
Oh, okay. Joe. Joe defers. Joe defers to
He always
Dad.
defers.
I always defer.
Joe defers to Dad. Dad, why should you be the winner?
All right, everyone gather around. You know we got Radio Raheem coming on live and direct.
Yes.
Make sure you look at your notes that you took.
You had the same opportunity.
I'm just saying, make sure you look at your notes and read them well.
That's reason number one. Right?
That's 30 seconds, y'all, by the way.
So let's just point out the fact that the record to end the season was tied at 166 to 90. I had a share of the lead for all of about 4 weeks, the entire season. So I was out there the entire time. And I know I may not be the champion that you like, but I'm the champion that you deserve. That's right, America and the UK. I'm the champ. And the main reason why I'm the champ is because I'm here. And I don't do fuckboy shit like this. Hold this L, Joe. You already holding the L. So I ain't got nothing else to say. That's why I win. You holding it for me.
All right. So those that are listening or watching us on Facebook, you get a vote on this. So please get your votes ready. Coach Joe, it's on you, baby.
Well, I'm so happy that you actually showed that picture because that was the picture I was going to show for me giving you the L and sprinkling it. You know the dude that sprinkle the L's all on your forehead, baby. All on your forehead. Let's just say this. I was behind.
Why can't we do this
For
every
8
episode?
weeks, I was behind. When everyone thought I was out. Get this camera right. Is it right, Mike?
Yeah.
I was behind for 8 weeks strong, and I fought back. Without being on the show, without being able to take notes, I fought back.
Pete Prisco fought back.
And tied it.
And tied it.
Even when he used to text me and say, you got 9 minutes, Joe. 5 minutes before the game starts.
Get your
Devin
picks in.
Johnson. Dad. D.A.D.
Another dot.
Would make sure that he tried to make sure I didn't get those W's.
Is anybody timing this shit?
All right, we're done.
Hey, not yet.
hold on,
Let me finish off.
Oh my God.
But listen, real talk. I'm your guy. East Coast to West Coast, UK. You love me. I love y'all. I'm out.
Kev.
Joe, let me ask you something. So if you don't bring notes,
Hold on, time out.
what's
Time
the-
out. I
what's
thought we supposed to be voting.
No, we not voting.
The
We are
the
gonna
people
vote.
are voting.
The
Joe.
people are
I have
gonna
a
vote.
question- I have a question for you to answer. If you don't have notes, then what's the paper for?
It's show notes. It's show notes.
Put that down, please.
I gotta make sure I stay in track and in order. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about his notes when the debate. That's not a debate.
Omar, what's your vote? Quickly, please.
Junior Blue.
Oh my God. Not confirmed. Junior Blue, what's your vote?
He's the champ. He's the ex-champ.
You got to get a belt up, Junior Blue. What's your vote?
He's a champ, man. He let the champ take his time.
I'm gonna go with St. Bernard's.
Thank you, son.
You know what? I'm going with Dev.
You going with Dev?
Yeah.
Kev, what's your vote?
I love you too, hater.
Would this be fair? I mean, nobody wins when the family feuds. I can't go against my brother.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Kenyon, you gotta break the tie.
Well, yeah, then I'll go the other way, so it's 2-2. And now we go to the fans. Give me the count. Somebody give me a vote. It's 2-2.
Jasmine says she's going for Joe for the underdog like the Eagles.
I love you, Jazz.
Well, that's
Dang,
one.
even our father said Joe was winning before the note. wait, maybe I'm reading that in the wrong.
Black Panther, go watch it.
Thursday.
Damn, Slug.
Is that it?
That's it. Hey, that's it.
Scott Cameron, come on, Scott.
Hey, bring me Scott.
Scott, you gotta break the tie.
The tie has already been broken twice.
Oh, because Jasmine and your dad voted for Joe.
I don't know if I'm reading what Slug.
No,
is
you're
saying.
reading right. You went with the brother, with your brother. I understand that.
Plus one
the
for
hater
Joe.
went with the brother. I understand that.
Scott.
Oh, plus
Nah,
one,
it's
Scott.
Scott.
It's Scott. All right.
But it's-
Joe Torres.
Joe.
Hey,
Joe.
Joe is the champion.
it's
Joe's
okay.
the champion.
I don't understand. Give me a second. I am a Cancer. I understand. I will get my shit together, and I will make sure next season I'm here every day. Every day. I love y'all.
Oh my
32
God.
Kings Road, baby.
This will conclude our second season
People
of
just feel sorry for you.
32
Ain't that what
Kings.
you do when you kiss the belt?
32 Kings.
He got like
Road.
3 minutes though, by the way.
Listen,
Yo, Dev is like, this motherfucker not getting away with shit.
we had 2 goals this season, and that was 1 to go to the UK and 2 to get our first significant guest on, and we accomplished that. So, cheers! Give me that gentleman's jack, please.
You can have it.
Cheers to us.
Let me get a drink. I know I said it.
Cheers to us for that. Anybody else got anything to sort of recap this season? Oh, I'm a Chargers fan. I guess there's that.
Yes. Training day.
And I do want to make sure that people know that I was 100% accurate in my record pick for the Jaguars. When I said 6-10, that was 6 losses and 10 wins.
Hey, touche.
Hey, that's 3-dimensional chess right there.
That's Wizards chess.
That's Wizards chess.
Yo,
We're gonna go back to London this fall. We're gonna do it for 2 games. And let's just put it out there. We going big. By this time next year, we'll be big. They gonna know who we are.
Let's do it.
They gonna know. Who, oh my God.
Yeah. Shaman with you, man.
We will be back for Confirmation Bias in about 4 to 6 weeks. Follow us on social media. Are you laughing at me, Devin? Or
No,
something?
I'm laughing at
Okay, I'm glad.
Kevin said
It's sketchy.
Joe Ugly cries like Trey Songz.
We'll be back for Confirmation Bias, our multi-sport show. Check us out. Follow us on social media. Guys, as always, it's been a pleasure. Anything else? Final words? We'll start with you, Coach Joe, the champion.
Cheerios.
The champion.
Cheerio. Cheers. Junior Blue.
Dev is salty
We taking this all the way to the top.
What are we taking to the top?
St.
show.
Bernard's.
Huh?
The league ambassadors.
St. Bernard.
St. Bernard's is going 16-0 this year. Mark my word.
They don't even play 16 games, Joe.
Yes, we do.
All right. Dad.
Preseason.
Dad. He talking about scrimmages in 7-on-7.
No, I'll break it
how
down
about-
to you afterwards.
League ambassadors get another flag football championship.
Hey.
Oh, hey. Red O.
Times like this, you appreciate your brothers, man. I'm glad to be here with my brothers. For real.
Love you too, Red.
We love you too, Red O. Kev.
Likewise, man. I love y'all. It's been a great year. Thanks to Jonathan Franklin for coming on the show. Ryan,
clap, baby.
man. Even though you rap tight in that red, white, and blue like Jason Whitlock, we still rock with you, my brother. Thank you.
Kevin!
Yeah, shout out to all the guests, Jasmine and Janet.
Janet Foster Brown, Jasmine Cameron, our #1 fan.
Shout out to Nutso, Nick Blackman.
Shout out to Nutso, Nick Blackman.
We do have to get
Nutso, you coming on for confirmation bias so the people can see who you are.
Tricky Nick.
Yeah, that's
he's
it.
one of a kind.
Shout out to the Network Studios, Mike Casantini. It's been a long year.
Man.
Shout out on the tees with the street for the cash. ESPN. Seth Curry with the shot. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, Eldad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the Buck Wild Problem Child.
Flow Butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the league ambassadors, and we playing to win at the 2-yard line. And make no mistake, we running it in.